Ask any Kosovar to name the most beautiful city of their young nation and you'll get the same response. It's Prizren.
Welcome to Prizren, the best city in Kosovo.
Although inhabited since the Illyrian and Roman times, Prizren's heyday was during the Ottoman Empire. With a privileged position along the trade routes of the day, it became the Albanian political and cultural capital. And the Ottoman era houses and mosques reflect the power and wealth of those times. The town's fortunes would change in the 20th century. After the First Balkan War, Prizren lost its influence on the Albanian lands to the west after Albania itself declared independence. Later, when Albania's communist dictator Enver Hoxha sealed the border, Prizren found itself in a remote corner of Yugoslavia, cut off from its previous trade links. In 1999, despite fierce resistance, Serbian forces overran the town and the Albanian population fled. Thankfully, when they returned, unlike many other towns in Kosovo, most of the buildings remained intact. However, in 2004, an outbreak of ethnic riots resulted in many Serbian buildings being looted and burnt. Present-day Prizren is building itself a reputation as the cultural and tourist capital of Kosovo. And with a new highway linking the town to Albania, it once again feels like it's at the heart of the Western Balkans. Almost every tourist image of this city will include this building, the remarkable Sinan Pasha Mosque. Constructed in 1615, it's become the emblematic symbol of Prizren. Many mosques were destroyed during the Kosovo War, but thankfully Prizren's famous mosque was spared. It was badly damaged in 1919, but recent renovations have restored the building to its former glory. Perhaps surprisingly though, the garden of the mosque is not an oasis of tranquility, but is instead a centre for tourist shops and a restaurant. So, if my limited Italian is correct, I understand that the original church was 5th century, then a larger church was built in the 12th century, but that church was burnt down a number of times during the Ottoman period, and it was only in the 18th century that the present cathedral was constructed. Now, at first glance, it might seem a little strange that there's a monument to Skanderbeg, the Albanian national hero, in the grounds of the cathedral, until you know that Skanderbeg did in fact convert to Christianity. Nothing is simple in the Balkans. The Serbian Orthodox Church of St. George was one of the buildings that was very badly damaged during the 2004 riots. It's now protected by security and photography inside is not permitted. The building behind me has enormous significance for Albanians as the seat of the League of Prizren. In the latter half of the 19th century, the Ottoman Empire was weakening, and as a result, Albanian lands were being lost to incursions by Bulgaria and Serbia. A group of leaders founded the League of Prizren to lobby for Albanian autonomy within the Ottoman Empire. In theory, a win-win for both sides, as they would support the Ottomans against the incursions from the east. But as a political and military force, it quickly became so successful that the Ottomans instead felt threatened. Prizren was recaptured by the Ottomans in 1881, and the leaders of the League were either killed or imprisoned in Prizren Fortress. However, the actions of the League are remembered to this day as a crucial moment of Albanian national awakening. The historic headquarters was deliberately destroyed by Serbian forces in the Kosovo War of 1999. It has since been rebuilt and is now part of a museum complex. The ethnographic curator, Linda, very kindly agreed to show me around.
This building is Albanian League of Prizren, and this was a madrasa, we call, and this is a religious school. After they give to a museum, and now is a part of museum. This being in Albanians, we have a promise that we call besa, and there they give the besa, the promise to go and to win the war.
Linda, I've heard that in traditional Albanian clothing, the colours are very important. The clothes speak.
And the colors are very important because they see an emotional part, how they feel, their feelings. and the young ladies have more colorful brides. If some lady's husband dies or go somewhere, and she puts like this clothes, and just to know in opinion that she's a wife without husband.
Oh, so the clothes really do speak.
Yes.
This is my very plush room at the Hotel Prior, and for the first time on this Kosovo trip, I have a balcony. Danmat, tell me one thing that every visitor to Prizren must do.
You need to go to the castle when the sun is going down, because the view is very good and beautiful.
Okay, let's go to the castle then. There's been a fortification here since at least the 6th century, which is easy to understand really, because a better site for a castle is very hard to imagine. During the Ottoman period there was a full garrison up here, and a mosque, and a quite notorious prison too. These days it's just a very popular Saturday afternoon destination, because the views over the town and the mountains towards Albania and Macedonia are just incredible. If you're looking for traditional Albanian cooking, then this has to be the place to come. Obviously most of the menu is meat, but I was able to enjoy vegetarian hot pot, and then the most incredibly strong mountain cheese you can imagine. The owner Jimmy will be happy to show you around his eclectic collection of Albanian artifacts, and then, if you're really lucky... So this is very strong, special...
This is Raki Shqiptare, Albanian, brandy, self-made.
So homemade, whoa.
In the ice glass. And for my guest from Britain, from England.
Well, how do you say cheers in Albanian?
Zuar.
Zuar.
Mirë se kja.
Zuar. In the centre of Prizren I found two other YouTubers.
Hello guys, how are you doing? I'm John, it's my brother is Shizo. Is we YouTube traveling the world. I'm crazy about Kosovo. Positive women, positive people. I like Kosovo's people.
You know, Pristina has so much energy, it leaves you breathless. Here in Prizren, life is a little calmer. Amongst the mountains and the minarets, it's best to take things slowly, moving from cafe to cafe. I love this town, but that's all I have time for. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you on the next journey.